Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe Jai Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai Shri Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Singare Bhagavan Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, the 4th canto, chapter 19, verse number 9. Okay. Or should we speak German and in English translation, or what makes more sense? Bist du okay? Okay, großen Applaus für der Rufe. Haribo! Ist nicht einfach zu übersetzen, ich weiß, wie das ist. Aber wir versuchen es best. Du hast ein deutsches Bhagavatam? Ja. Okay. So. Sindavo Ratna Nikaran. Sindavo Ratna Nikaran. Girachonam Chadovidam. Girajonam Chadovidam. Upayanam Upacharu. Upayanam Upacharu. Sarve loka sapalakaha. Sarve loka sapalakaha. Sindhavuratna nikaran. Girayonam chadovidam. Upayanam upacharu. Sarve loka sapalakaha. Please chant. Vilukasa balagaha. Somebody? Ladies? Sindhavuratna nikaram girayonam chadovidam upayanam upacharu sarve loka sapalakaha. Sindomatna nikikaram girajonam chadovidam upayanam upacharu sarve loka sabalakaha. Sindhava, the oceans, Ratnanikaran, heaps of jewels, Giraya, the hills, Anam, eatables, Chadovidam, four kinds of, Upayanam, presentations, Upacharu, brought forward, Sarve, all, Loka, the people in general of all planets, Sapalakaha, along with the governors. Translation and is purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. King Prithu was presented with various gifts from the general populace and predominating deities of all planets. The oceans and seas were full of valuable jewels and pearls, and the hills were full of chemicals and fertilizers. Four kinds of eatables were produced profusely. Purport. As stated in Ishopanishad, this material creation is supplied with all the potencies for the production of all necessities required by the living entities, not only human beings, but animals, reptiles, aquatics, and trees. The oceans and seas produce pearls, corals, and valuable jewels, so that fortunate law-abiding people can utilize them. Similarly, the hills are full of chemicals, so that when rivers flow down from them, the chemicals spread over the fields to fertilize the four kinds of foodstuff. These are technically known as kavya, those eatables which are chewed. Okay, so what could be things what are chewed? Eatables.
Grains.
Yeah. Vegetables. Fruits. Okay. So that's quite easy. Leha, those which are licked up.
Ice cream.
Ooh, is this count as foodstuffs or chemicals? It grows in the huh? Honey. Ooh, yeah, very good. Licked. Something else. What can be licked? Yogurt, maybe. It gets more difficult because choose here those which are swallowed. Das, was geschluckt wird. Was kann denn Essen sein, was geschluckt wird? Ich meine, alles Essen wird geschluckt. Wird. I don't know. I was thinking, what could that be? I found things for licked, but for swallowed. The only thing what I came close is this: the French people they eating this measle. How do you call it? Oyster. You did. That's maybe swallowed, but I didn't find a Vedic some. Naja, und Tulsi wird jetzt auch nur an der Foodstuff, also es wird jetzt auch nur unter Foodstuff fallen. Und also ich meine, wer Tulsi schlucken kann, Hut ab. Also manchmal so eine Manchari sagt. Nee, also vielleicht kommen wir vielleicht hätte Paramahamsa, der weiß vielleicht, der kennt sich mit allen möglichen Foodstuff aus. Das war swallowed. Oh, Bhagavad Gita. What is foodstuff that has to be swallowed? He's in the purport. Srila Prabhupada speaks about foodstuff, eatables which are chewed, that what is licked up, that what is swallowed. Now we didn't find really something what is swallowed. I had the same idea, but that's not really some Vedic prep. Not now. Okay. And paya, those which are drunk. That's easy, right? Huh? Yeah. Like water. Water can be also drunk. Lemonade, fruit saft, fruit juice, right? You don't know why you... Oh, drunk. You thought of drunk. Somebody is drunk. Yeah. No, what you drink. Okay, good. Prabhupada continues. Prithu Maharaj was greeted by the residents of other planets and their presiding deities. They presented various gifts to the king and acknowledged him as the proper type of king by whose planning and activities everyone throughout the universe could be happy and prosperous. It is clearly indicated in this verse that the oceans and seas are meant for producing jewels, but in Kali Yuga the oceans are mainly being utilized for fishing. Shudras and poor men were allowed to fish, but the higher classes like the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas would gather pearls, jewels and corals. Although poor men would catch tons of fish, they would not be equal in value to one piece of coral or pearl. In this age, so many factories for the manufacture of fertilizers have been opened, but when the personality of Godhead is pleased by the performance of yajnas, the hills automatically produce fertilizing chemicals which help produce eatables in the fields. Everything is dependent on the people's acceptance of the Vedic principles of sacrifice. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Agnanati Manasya Kinananchana Shalakya Chakshu Midam Yena Tasmai Shigre Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manopistam Stabidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagadamayam Dadati Swabarantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. King Prithu was presented with various gifts from the general populace and predominating deities of all planets. The oceans and seas were full of valuable jewels and pearls, and the hills were full of chemicals and fertilizers. 4 kinds of eatables were produced profusely. So we are here in the Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the general theme here in the Srimad Bhagavatam? What is happening? Yes. So he is making sacrifices. First of all, I would like to offer my respectful obeisances to Sri Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose mercy even a layman can cross over a mountain and a dumb man can recite Vedic literature. That's me. That's a dumb man. Right? So, My path is very difficult and I'm blind and my feet are slipping again and again. Therefore, may the saints help me by granting me the stick of the mercy as my support. This is Krishnadas Kaviraj speaking. So now back to the sacrifices. We have here that Maharaj Prithu performs this sacrifices. What he's trying to do with the sacrifices? Yes, and then what happens? He appeared himself, right? He came. And this is the first, this is the biggest blessing what you can gain by doing sacrifices. And so we have this now in this text. We are informed that because of this sacrifice Maharaj Prithu did, who else was pleased beside Lord Vishnu who appeared? All the demigods and presiding deities. And then what happened?
He gets lots of presents again. He gets for his birthday.
Yes. And what then was the influence of, who got this presents then in the end? Yes. So it was not that Maharaj Prithu got them, but he enabled the earth again, the planet again, to get this presence. They are like presents. They are like a universe or a system. I make an experiment at home. I have a glass jar. Previously there were bonbons inside. You know what is bonbons? Bonbons, right? And this glass jar you can close and kind of airtight. So I put some earth inside from the garden, from the compost, so full of fertilizers and chemicals. Good chemicals. And I put, I found some flower seeds in Gopala's greenhouse, and I put also, how's called, a seed of a date seed inside. And I put water, some that it moistened, and then I closed it and put it in my window shelf, because I want to see if by the air what is inside and the water what is inside, because you see already the glass becomes like moistened, there's water inside and as water falls down inside, it's like I want to see if there's a ecological cycle I can build, what lives by its own. So let's see. I'm curious about it. I just started it. So, the world, Mother Bhumi, is the same thing. All ingredients are actually in her, and everything what is used can be decomposed or reused again, right? Like when they had previously, when the kings they did the yagya, all the paraphernalia were made out of gold. And then they not like our puchari room, our puchari helpers, they wash the paraphernalia. No, they just throw it away. And then when there was a sacrifice like this conducted, the emperor, he went around, collected all this gold, melted it, and made new paraphernalia. This is how you do it. Or for example, we still see this in India. They're using drinking cups made out of clay. They're not very hard, and they're also not painted or whatever. It's just clay cups. And they're serving mostly tea. On Vrindavan, you see they have this lassi inside. It's very tasty when it's hot. Lassi in Vrindavan. And and then what you do, you just throw it on the floor. And it becomes earth again. Right? So and this is our whole universe, or the Mother Bhumi, our environment where we live, is like self-sufficient. Therefore, Prabhupada, he points out the Ishopanishad, that everything what is there is already full in itself, and there is no need of to add anything. Nor is that when you take something from this environment, that something get lost, because it stays in a circle, right? But if somebody, and now we come like Mother Shama Nandini, she said some days ago how the world would look like if the people would consider the first mantra of the Ishopanishad, would take this at heart, that everybody would take only that what is necessary for him to survive. Right? So because then this, we would only take what is needed for us, and we leave the rest aside for other people to take. And in this way, it's all designed with all living entities on the planet that everybody can survive. There's enough for everybody, because it is kind of a very fine taxation. Like, creation is something what works out by itself, and like this ecosystem that I try to build, let's see if it works, can survive by itself. It's a closed circle. But of course, out of greed and envy, living entities, and not only living entities, I mean, not to say living entities in general, because Prabhupada, in this purport to the Ishopanishad, to this verse, he says, so if you put a bag of rice in the street, all the birds would come and eat some rice till the belly is full, and then they would fly away. But a human would come and would immediately take the whole bag, because he thinks, I have to take the whole bag, because I don't have trust in the creation, I don't have trust in the Creator. Tomorrow I may have nothing to eat. Right? And therefore, this system, this cycle, is disrupted by the greedy mentality of humans, basically. And this is what happened here before. Therefore, King Prithu came to rectify the situation, because under the rulership of King Venu and before, everybody just grabbed whatever they could, and lived by that. So this is one thing what we learn from this verse, that because Maharaj Prithu, he reinstalled sacrifice. And this is something what we humans don't understand, or don't like to understand, that human life is meant for Yes, but this goes together with what? With sacrifice. Or as Chananiwas Prabhu once put it, he said to me, human life is meant for tapasya. So how is that? I thought human life, or when you go out, all the advertisement, everything is human life is for enjoyment. Hey, you reached human life. Right? But this is the mentality of the demigods. In the higher planetary systems, there you go for enjoyment. That's the holiday places. The higher planetary systems, these are the holiday places like Mallorca. All the Germans, they go to Mallorca, or where else? Gran Canaria, ne? Where do they go? Ballermann, or they have this Monaco, or Gran Canaria, or they go on a cruise. This is where you go after you did 1 year of sacrifice. Then you go to the higher planetary system. But you know what? You have to come back. You have to go back to work. Holiday is one time over. And that's the same thing. But on this plane where we're living, on this earthly planet, that's meant for humans, the humans who live there. They have to do tapasya. They have to do sacrifice because they're doing karma. So that's very important to understand what we're doing here, especially we humans, we creating karma. And to make karma, we have to make sacrifices. So then Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, of course, he gives a whole list of sacrifices, what has to be done. But in this moment where we think, no, actually we are here to enjoy, we try to take the position of the demigods. What is not our position here on earth? We have to work on earth. We have to make sacrifice. Right? And this is what we don't understand, because we think we are here to take, but actually we are here to give. Jai Shishi Palat Lakshmi Shingadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. So now everybody can think of things what we can give. What could we give? What do you think? What is something what we could give? Murari. Liebe. Yeah, we can give Liebe. Very good. What else can we give? Time. That's a very great sacrifice, because time, to give our time, that's so precious. That's so precious that there is the saying. What is the saying? Time is? Huh? What? Money. Time is money. But even more, what says Krishna in Bhagavad Gita about time? Kalus me. I am time. So by sacrificing time, we sacrificing Krishna. So when I sacrifice my time to please somebody else who exploits Krishna, I sacrifice Krishna for him. If I sacrifice time going on YouTube, what do I do with my time? Murari. Yes, but what do I do then? Yes, okay, good. Yeah, good. Okay, so let's say I go to kind of distracting things on YouTube or in internet, whatever. What do I do with this time? I'm wasting time. Or not, I'm wasting time. What else do I waste? Krishna. I'm wasting Krishna. I'm wasting this most potent energy. What he represents, he says, time I am. And I'm wasting this valuable gift, what he gave to us. It's like a power. You know, if you have a mobile, and you know you have to, this mobile, you have not the opportunity to charge it till the evening, because the whole day you're busy, you're on the run, there's no charge or no electricity. So you would be very careful how and when you use your telephone. You would not go unnecessarily on some kind of whatever. You know, would always think, is it needed that I use my telephone now, because I don't know the next time when I can charge it. But without time, we're so careless. Huh? We wasting our time. We wasting our life. So very good point. Thank you, Primus. Time. What else we can sacrifice? Huh? Money? Yes. What is money? Very good, Choro, actually. Very good. Because first we had time. Time was compared to? Huh? No. Krishna. Okay. So we had Krishna. Now what is money? Lakshmi. So who is Lakshmi? The consort of Krishna, right? So on the one hand, we tend to misuse or waste or sacrifice Krishna. You know, when we do devotional service, then we using our time in the right, in the right portion. We using this time for Krishna. So we giving Krishna back to himself. Like we go on the Ganges, and when we go to the Ganges, we offer Ganges water to the Ganges, right? That's an offering for the Ganges. So in the same way, when we use our time in Krishna's service, then our time is nicely utilized, because it also pays on an eternal bank account, the Krishna account. So now we're sacrificing Lakshmi, the consort of Krishna. So that's somehow, and therefore time and money is also related. Time is cash, time is money. So they belong together, right? So if I misuse, and not only money, let's say resources, everything what is under the category of Shri, right? If I misuse this or waste this, then I'm wasting Radharani. I'm wasting Lakshmi. What else we can offer? Very good, you had very good contribution, yes. Our abilities. Now again, what says Krishna in Bhagavad Gita about ability?
I'm ability in a woman.
Yeah, and in men. Because when you say man, the man is included, right? Yeah, it's the ability. I am ability. So again, when we sacrifice our ability to make somebody else's business rich, again, I come for Mr. Knaus. If I use my ability to work for Mr. Knaus, then I make his business rich. If I use my ability to work for Krishna, or to use this energy, what I gain from it in Krishna's service, then it's rightly conducted. Do we have anything else what you think of what we can offer?
Words.
Huh? Words, yeah, very good. Very good. We have this, I always say, when you take sannyas, the boys, girls in our tradition, they don't take sannyas. If you want, you're in the wrong organization. Yeah, oh, sure, you have to go there. So if you take sannyas, they get, what do they get when they take sannyas? Danda? Tree Dandi? No, I tell you what they get. They get a BMW. Exactly. And this is the Tree Dandi, right? Body, mind, and words. So they get a BMW when they have a danda. 3 sticks. Body, mind, and words. You offer your body, meaning ability. If you offer your body, meaning you offer your ability. This what you got. Like Arjuna, he offered his body that he fought for Krishna. Or Hanuman, or different devotees. And your mind, how you can sacrifice your mind. Always think of Krishna. John is too. And words, Manuel, what do you think? Yeah, speak about Krishna. Right? So this is the things what when we explored in a circle of devotees, this is the things what come up for us, what we can offer. And this is kind of natural for us because we learned like that, and this is what we're supposed to say, right, in the class if we are asked. But when we look in the general how the world works, then it's basically that everybody do you agree that everybody makes sacrifices? Yeah. They all make huge sacrifices, sometimes much more than devotees do. But what is the result of their sacrifices?
Does they get stuff?
Does they get stuff? Yeah.
They
want to get stuff. They want to make themselves happy, or extended versions of themselves. They make the expansions happy. Let's say a father works very hard, sacrifices his time, his energy, his words, his ability, his money, all for the sake of the family. He wants that the family is happy. And the family recognizes the sacrifice and thinks this is what you do. You have to sacrifice your time, your energy, your everything to make this happy, or to make this happen, right? And therefore, most of the people, they're sacrificing not only their lives and their words and their abilities, they're sacrificing their lives. They're sacrificing their lives. And to this point, that they never think, what I really want to do, what are my abilities? Because even in school, you do what you're told to do. And what other people think what is important for you. Now there are certain things what is good to learn, like reading or calculating, right? That is very helpful. But then there comes things who are not so much related to you. And it's not what you really want to do. Of course, as a kid, you wanna play. We all want to play. But later on, we start already that playing becomes more like in the field of what's interesting. For example, Murari is waiting till he is big enough that he can drive the Rasenmäher. Right? And you can see, it's not only playing, it's some ability, what is in him, what is given to him, where he thinks, how I can use this. I'm interested in this. Since very childhood, he's watching on YouTube about tractors, right? This is something what he's interested in. Now, Charu is not like that, but Charu likes scientific stuff, and chess and all these things, what is going more in the head, right? But then we come in school, all this is breaking apart and say, okay, that's you can do as a hobby, but what you really should do is where you can get money, right? And then you lose your ability, you neglect your ability, and you choose according to that where you can get the most out of yourself or your extended versions. And this you keep on for the rest of your life. Only see where can I squeeze something out? And then you realize suddenly you live in an old people's home and think, what was it all about? I still don't know who I am. I still don't know what's the purpose in life. And I was lived a life not by me, but by somebody else. So that's our sacrifice. What we're doing in this world. If we're not careful, the exploiting energy in this universe will use us up, will eat us up, will suck us out like a, I don't know, like an old akku or something like that. So therefore we have to really think for ourselves. What is my sacrifice? What should be my contribution? What is my ability? What did I get from Krishna to come, to be able to contribute, to be valuable, to be like a gem, like a pearl taken from the sea? And what do I give back? I'm taking from this closed systems. I'm taking something like grains, like food, like air, like water. But what is my contribution? What do I give back? What do I give back to the universe? What do I give back to society? Serve prasadam, cutting bread, smearing butter on them. And because of this, we have to find out who we are and what is our mission. Arjuna asking Krishna, what is my mission? What do I have to do? What do you want me to do? Right? And in the same way, we should be also curious. We should try to communicate with Krishna what you want me to do. And we should not be surprised if we don't get immediately an answer. Because sometimes Krishna said, yes, I have something for you. But in order to get this skill, to access that skill, what is already in you, you have to learn something else. Now first you learn this. For example, we don't have access to our skills with pride. If we are proud of anything, then we don't have access to our natural ability, what we got from Krishna. So first thing, what always comes to us is deal with your pride. And this you do with humility. We have to learn humility. Like great thinkers, like was it Goethe, who said, I know that I don't know. Right? And in this, when you have this mindset, you're ready to get. Because you're empty. The person who has a full cup and says, give me more, nothing fits inside. But if you have an empty cup, you're able to receive. So if you humble, you have an empty cup. Same way, if we are keeping too much, it's called adyaha. If you're keeping too much, see, your hands are full. You're holding on to so many things. What can you get? Nothing. Because you don't have any hands free to get something new. Because you think, no, I have this, I have to keep this, I have to keep this. I want to keep this toy, I want to keep that toy. And the children's room is already so full of toys. No new toys fit inside. So therefore I say, when you want to have new toys, you have to throw some old away. Especially those are broken, right? So therefore, austerity and renunciation is a very big step. Therefore, we try to teach people who come to us, and we all went through this, they say, okay, if you really want to be successful, let go. First of all, let go. And this means brahmachari ashram or the brahmacharini ashram. It's not that you have to not look at women or not look at men or whatever. No, that's not the purpose of Brahmachari Ashram. The purpose of Brahmachari Ashram is let go. Let go of your ego. Let go of the things what you thought you are. Because the more you can let go, the more free you are. And then Krishna will give you tools in your hand, or you even didn't think about it. I didn't know that I will become a puchari. I never thought I want to make fire I didn't know. For me, fire was like bonfire, what you do, whatever. I never thought that, But we first have to go through this process of renunciation. And that means not only material renunciation, that means also mental renunciation, that we let go of everything what I thought I will be. And then the next thing is we have to be happening right now. We have to be, we may be hungry, but we have to be, till the breakfast comes, we have to be patient. Very good. We have to be patient. Till the right circumstances arrive. Prabhupada, he was so long, he was patient. It would be so much better if Prabhupada, he got the instructions from his spiritual master. Let's say Prabhupada was maybe mid-30, something like that. Anybody knows when he met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati the first time? When he said, mid-30, I'm in my full strength now. Let's go to America. Let's conquer the world. No, but Prabhupada knew it's not the time yet. I'm not ready for this yet. Therefore, this serious lifetime of preparation. So it took Prabhupada a whole lifetime. It would be so much easier if with a young body he would have come to America and, would have done all of that. But it didn't happen. It was not the time. Time was not ripe. He had to go as an old man. But then the time was just ripe that he, bounced in the hippie movement in this time, and even big influencers in this time, like the Beatles, they started to chant Hare Krishna. And this is now basically, that's our sacrifice. To chant Hare Krishna, to do the Harinam Sankirtan, this is our sacrifice recommended for this time and age. This is what we do. All the other, King Prithu, we hear how elaborated his sacrifice was, how many different things he had to collect and to prepare, and how long and how many priests and brahmanas. When we hear about the sacrifices in the scriptures, it's like, oh, come on. And therefore we cannot do this anymore. But we got a simple process, just come together. You need, what ingredients do you need? What do you need for chanting? Yes, only a mouth. And in this mouth you need what? Yeah. Therefore, Rupa Goswami said, if the sweetness of the chanting of the holy name enters my mouth, I wish that I had thousands of tongues, that I can taste the sweetness of the holy name, right? And when we do this, what happens? Because they say, King Prithu, he was very fortunate because for his sacrifice, still Vishnu came. Later on in Kali Yuga, in the Yugas, for such sacrifices, Vishnu didn't come anymore. Now Vishnu didn't come, for example, when Daksha made his sacrifice, Vishnu didn't come. But what happens when we chant Hare Krishna? Krishna appears. Krishna appears. It's said, Mahaprabhu appeared in 4 places. Now I get it together. Somebody knows what is 4? Where Nityananda dances. And this happened in the first Gaur Punim festival conducted by Narottam Das Thakur. They were chanting so intensely, and this sometimes will be missing for Mangalarti. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Who should come? Do you know Nrsingadev jumps out of the altar and want to dance with us? No, but for festival, when the devotee is very ecstatic, he comes out of the altar and dances with his devotees. Did you experience that? Oh, for festival? Did you dance with Krishna? Naraini? Did you were here to dance with Krishna? Was it ecstatic? Amazing, right? So, when we chant with intention, please appear, then the Lord comes. And this happened for the first Gaur Punim festival. Because Nityananda comes to dance. And Nityananda immediately, whereas the chanting of the holy name, he appears and dances. And when he comes, Nityananda, Mahaprabhu comes. Where else does he appear? When Mother Sachi cooks, he appears. He comes to a family altar to eat every day. So if we cook with the intention of Mother Sachi, and I guess many of our cooks do, I know, together with the cooking helpers, then Mahaprabhu comes to eat. He will come where else? Where do we come together to sing his name? Yeah, you're right, but he said specifically in the house of Srivas Thakur. In the house of Srivas Thakur. And I think there was even one thing more where he appeared. I forgot. I think in the mind of Nakula Brahmachari. Anyway. Yeah, so that is our good fortune, that we have the ability, by chanting the holy name, Vishnu appears. Like for King Prithu, he appeared. And when he appears, who else comes with him? What happened when Vishnu appeared to the sacrifice of King Prithu? All the demigods came. So now what happened when Gauranga Mahaprabhu appeared? All associates came with him. And now when we come together to chant the holy name, what happens? Not only Mahaprabhu comes, but what else comes? His associates, all the demigods. And what do they bring with them? Huh? Presents. So who doesn't want to have presents? What are these presents? Blessings. Very good. What else? What? When Mahaprabhu comes or when Krishna comes, who else comes immediately with him? For sure. Huh? Balaram, yeah, let's say Balaram's strength and, all paraphernalia comes for worship. Everything comes, what is needed. Who else comes with him? Gopi Gita. Who comes with Krishna? Yes, Radharani. So what is Radharani? The goddess of fortune. So this is all what we attract when we chant Hare Krishna. And whoever hears it is inflicted with it, will get influenced, even if they don't want to hear it. Again, this Hare Krishnas. Done. Your good fortune arises. Right? So that's our contribution, This is what we have to give. Therefore, we are installed. Mahaprabhu installed the Sankirtan movement in this day and age. And we are paraphernalia of it. Each one of us, each mouth, each tongue, what joins this movement is part of this process, of this sacrifice. Now be aware of it. Be aware of it. With our tongues, we're making a contribution. This age of Kali is so pierced by inauspicious that ghosts and spirits, negativity comes from all sides to this holes in this covering of auspiciousness. Now what we do with chanting is we closing that holes. We first of all driving out all inauspiciousness, and at the same time we closing the holes. Like the sound of a conch shell closes the holes in the ether. Now you can make holes in the ether. Did you know that? How? By whistling. Yeah. You whistle. Like some people do. You're piercing holes in the ether. And through these holes, ghosts and spirit can enter. You're making in your aura, you're creating holes in your aura. Also by drugs or intoxication, you're creating these holes there. And people who are sensitive can see that there are holes in the aura. But by chanting Hare Krishna, you're closing this and making your aura wholesome again. Charu? Because the sound is so strong, is so piercing, that it pierces holes in the ether. When somebody whistles, you hear it's not really pleasing. It's completely different when a bird sings. When a bird sings, that's very auspicious. When a person is whistling, it's strange. Some people think that's wonderful, but it's not. The science behind is you attract ghosts and spirits. Anyway, this is just some side part of it, a side point what I'm making. The point is, by doing this Sankirtan, by being in the association of devotees, chanting Hare Krishna together, we are making such a great contribution to the whole universe. We even not aware of it. We only see ourselves in it and think, oh my goodness, I struggle with this, I'm struggling with that, and why is the society, or why is the devotee society like that? Why this person is like that? And I cannot do this, I am struggling with my body and this and that. But this is sacrifice what we're doing. And Mahaprabhu is so pleased by the sacrifice that we joined the Sankirtan movement, because that is his contribution. This is what he installed in this Kali Yuga. That's the sacrifice. And by becoming part of it, we making Mahaprabhu so happy. So why we should be morose? Like sad. Why we should be sad then? Why we should always ponder about minor things what are disturbing, like when is time for breakfast? I tell you right now. So thank you very much. This is all what came to me in order of this verse, speaking about Maharaj Prithu, who made a sacrifice to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this way, reinstalled auspiciousness in form of wealth and health under this earthly planet. And compared to this, our sacrifice nowadays is the Harinam Sankirtan Yajna. So I'm begging you, please let me be part of this sacrifice, of this austerity, to living a life being instrument in the hands of Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada and yours. Please use me. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions? Yes, Prabhu, Prime.
Oh yeah. Hare Krishna. It's okay. Thank you for the lecture. I had one. You spoke before about different inclination, about different talents and skills, and through that, then also we should be thinking also how we want to contribute to the world. You were mentioning. So we have. Then you spoke how the brahmachari ashram is also a way of learning. Because anyway, even if we have talents, then we may be proud, and then so it's of no use. So there's a lot of education coming in the temple happening, but sometimes it's not so much perceived as I feel like how all the benefits that come along. So my question would be like, okay, how can we present also to the world and for the people also coming how we have a system of education and that can also help them in reveal the talents and skills and qualities that people have in order to then be able to better contribute to the world. I don't know if you get what I mean.
What I got was how we can teach to the world. You mean the people outside, not the devotees? You mean the people?
Actually both. Also for us to realize how it is. There's some education going on.
Yeah, that we're developing skills actually.
Mm-hmm.
That's not only. Well, I mean, the best advertisement is always the fruits of a tree. You know, if you wanna advertise a tree, you distribute the fruits to the people. And when you see somebody is coming out with good qualities, you know, now when somebody comes, let's say some devotee comes and says, I'm trained in Pune, or I'm trained in Chopati, you know already, oh, okay. You know, you expect already good education, good manners, devotional manners, you know, like Vaishnava Sadacha, you know, like Vaishnava behavior and humility, you know, kind of some things you expect already because it has a reputation. So by sending people out in the world who went through a specific ashram education in one particular ashram, they carrying a weight, they carrying a specific mood with them. Let's put it like that. You know what I mean? And then and this is the best advertisement. But it's also it could be also negative. You know, for many years, Simhachalam was known as a place where, especially from Czech or somewhere, people were sent, nobody could deal with them. They were sent to Simhachalam, especially from the Czech Yatra. When I was Bhakta here, I had many Bhakta colleagues who were weirdos, men and women alike. You know, I mean, that doesn't mean there were bad people, but it just didn't fit into the system. And I think sometimes Simhachalam still carries a little bit of this aroma. What is not bad because it creates a new environment and some new, a little bit a different style of things. And now you can see that people, when they hear they come from Simhachalam, they have also certain expectations. Most people, when you say come from Simhachalam, they think of what? Nrsingadev immediately. And that's very good, right? So the best advertisement, I would say, to answer this question from my point of view is if we develop a good sadacha, a good behavior, and in this way spreading the glories of the ashram we were trained in. On the other hand, we could also spread the negativity, you know, the negative there are ashrams even in Europe, they appear like very wonderful, but if you hear somebody coming from there, you think, oh. It is like that. Although they look from the outside, they look very successful. We don't want to name names, but when you hear of somebody comes from this and that yatra, you know already, okay, this mentality goes on there. So yeah. Being good examples and spreading this is the best advertisement for our ashram. Is this a question or are you stretching yourself?
This will be stretching.
Okay. Come on, hurry up.
Sorry, just on this point, I also felt when I joined the ashram here, there was maybe some judgment, maybe from the God family, because Simhachalam also had this reputation of being very heavy, right? So there was a little like, ooh, where's she going? But naturally their opinions changed. And how much is it sometimes in spiritual life that we have to discern other people's maybe opinions as opposed to devotee valuable comments,
Discern what means discern?
Differentiate. Not to judge.
We have to differentiate people's
opinion rather than some valuable.
Well, I think opinions are very good if we take them in a healthy way. Let's say people had this judgment about Simhachalam that it was very heavy, and it was in times, also in this time when the weirdos were here, the management also had, was also in a special way. But because of that, some devotees, and I consider ourselves part of that, we really worked to change that, to change the opinion of the people. And I think now in some areas we were successful, in some areas there's still work in progress, but therefore opinions relevant if we take the positive inspiration out of it to say, okay, that's not how I would like that people think about it, because now let's say now we had this disease here in the community, and it's very painful because it reflects on the Singadev. People say, I went on the Singa Chaturdasi, I got this disease. So meaning like, this Singa, whatever, it somehow stains our Singadev, and that's very painful, right? But from this point on, we can say, okay, we have this reputation. Let's do something to make it better, right? So we have to see the positive of it, and try to change it for a better outcome. That people don't see it in that way. And we have to be aware. Bad news travel faster than good news. And people not, first of all, they see, in Jandelsbrunn, this thing is already around, everybody knows. We are again, the Hare Krishnas again. We are, after all these years, we try to make relationships, we try to present ourselves as human beings, worth to have a conversation with or speak with or take serious. Now again we have this reputation of, they're breeding some kind of diseases there. Very sad, very painful. But this is what we have to deal with. So now we have to make efforts to give a positive view again. On the other hand, We also cannot please, we're not here to please everybody. That was not Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's concern. That was not Srila Prabhupada's concern. You know, their concern was, did they say Hare Krishna? You know, like even in bad articles or whatever. So bad news will be always there, especially also about good things. People will look for the black spots in the moon.
And there will be the others who will try to see us. Like one mother, she asked me, like, what's happening? And I was like, oh no, here it comes. And it was...
A mother from the village.
From the village, yes.
Yeah.
So one of Murari's schoolmates' mama. And I thought, okay, I'll tell her. And then instead of her giving some view on that, she wrote, oh, that's terrible to hear, but a private question. I've always been so interested in your community. I'm not saying that I want to join up full time. She wrote a whole passage of how she wanted to learn more about us and if we have time and are we open. And I was like, oh, wow. So, you know, I think that there will always be the other people, right? Just some, so to say, random local person who was too shy to ask before, but could she come and visit us? And this idea of this mass and thing is not at all a way. That was her way naturally to ask me, can I come? So
see, there you have your Yagya. There you see how you're important for Nrsingadev, because he tries to connect with the local people through his devotees. You know, so therefore we are, you see, there you can see how important we are. Not to say in a proud way we are important, but we are important for Nrsingadev because we are paraphernalia for him to connect to the outside world. And we should be aware of this. So that means, in one sense, yes, we consider their opinion. On the other hand, we cannot compromise our values. But because these values or those Nrsingadev, Krishna attracts other people, you know what I mean?
yes, definitely.
Shama Anandini. Everybody's hungry, please go.
Yes. I just have one sentence that just came to my mind. When you come out of disease, your immune system gets stronger. So I see this like opportunity, like that we getting stronger as community.
Yeah, very nice points. Thank you. Very good thought about it. Yeah. Okay. Can we let us stay as a closing sentence? Coming out of disease make us stronger as a community. So in that sense, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Simhachalam Dham ki jai, Nitai Go Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo.